Hello, is that better? That's what happens. You don't stream in a while. Friggin' things aren't working. All right. I haven't used OBS for anything in a while, so half the shit probably won't be working. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, sorry I haven't been streaming lately. I have, as most of y'all know, I've been sick. Still trying to recover from all that. Been out of the hospital now for 2 weeks again, but I'm still a little wheezy here and there. I'm still trying to get all my strength back. Now I'm just quiet. Hold on. Crap. And OBS has changed their shit. I mean, the mic's right here above me. Normally it's on 300%. How do you go to the friggin' audio properties? They've changed all this. Audio. All right, here we go. Yeah, they changed it. There's a little gear wheel down there now for settings. Let's see. 100%. All right, is that better? Yeah, no, it's not the mic gain, it's OBS. Normally I have OBS set at 300% for my mic. And I've redone a bunch of stuff. Plus, for some reason, half of my stuff isn't showing up. All right, I'll go ahead and turn Chrome on. Anyway, we're here to watch the launch of Artemis II. We can talk about other stuff later on when we get done. Launch is roughly, I think, about 20 minutes away. Yeah. And so we'll turn the radio on and listen to them. Y'all don't want to hear me babble on. And of course, y'all can't hear Chrome. Oh, come on.
I'm glad they were able to clear the battery on the LAS, and everything has gone really smoothly today. It's been great. The weather cleared up. It's a beautiful day for a launch.
And so now, as we are so close
Alina, welcome in.
to possibly launch
Who else
now,
we got over here?
Just what are your final thoughts
as
we are about to
Yeah, I pulled the trigger a little bit earlier.
A mission back to the moon, the
when
first time in more than 50 years.
Yeah,
I was playing a video game up until about 10 minutes before
the teams
the stream
here on the ground that made this happen. They are carrying the torch from the Apollo era into the Artemis era.
Kim, welcome in.
And it's the crew likes to say they want to be the shoulders.
Okay.
The next generation.
Pius. What did we learn? We didn't learn a damn thing.
With that, please.
We learned that after 3 months of not streaming, that OBS resets everything.
They want to be the crew wants to be the shoulders that the next generation can climb on.
001.
Who else we got in here?
I think it's in their patch.
That's just it right
We're going
now.
for all.
5 people
it's
over
in the
here
name
on
of their
YouTube,
capsule
Twitch.
integrity, representing humility.
Looks like we got 4 over here on YouTube. Welcome in, folks.
Today. So proud of them. We love them. We're excited for them, and we cannot wait to see what they see.
Just leveraging everything we've learned so far as an agency, taking us from Apollo now to the launch pad here, 39B, with Orion and SLS poised to again fly us into the history books. And before we leave you now here at the host desk to get back into operations, we just wanted to answer one question for you guys. We asked you
Sorry
earlier
if I'm looking off to the side. I've got Ness's feed over on one of the smaller monitors.
Instagram,
because it just looked funky on the widescreen.
Twitch, you guys said lunar flyby, so I think you guys will all be very excited since we are now about 17 minutes
If I
from the
move this
opening
over
of our
here.
launch window today. And so with that, as we approach terminal count, let's send it back to Daryl Nail in firing room 1.
Oh, crap.
Daryl.
All right, thank you, Megan and Nicole, and just want
Yeah,
to
I've
give you
got
an
my deer
update
stream
on the
up on the
launch
other one,
abort
too. Hold
system
on.
that you just
That would be
reported that they
monitor.
cleared. They
See, the
believe,
widescreen just looks
they're
funky
convinced this is
when you're not
an
watching something in
instrumentation
widescreen.
failure. So there are 2
If it's a
batteries
game or
on
something
the
like that, it
LAS.
looks
The
good,
LAS,
but-
of course, and with the help of my 2-year-old son's model rocket, Daniel said I could use this, so it's okay.
All right,
The
so we'll
LAS
move
is
this
right
back
here.
over.
It's the tower above Orion. Orion capsule
I
is
just
inside
don't
of
like
here.
it.
It's used to pull Orion off the rocket in case the rocket is something's going on with the rocket, either on the pad or in flight. 2 batteries are bad. Well, I'm sorry, one of the 2 batteries
minute, why is that
reported an
still-
out-of-family temperature, and it was very
All
much
right,
out of
it's slow.
family.
YouTube's
And
slow.
so they checked their data going back into the vehicle assembly building where they recharged the batteries and worked on them. And they have good, solid data, they reported, that tells them that this is an instrumentation
Why
failure.
does that
There's
look all
something
funky?
wrong with the sensor. And so they took it before the mission management team, which has to accept the risk, any changes to
Oh, 'cause I need to turn
launch
that off.
commit
That's why.
criteria,
My bad.
which this would be one.
Hey,
and
it's
they
been a
all
while.
fully accepted it. So now we are clear
Hey, Free,
as far
over on
as that
YouTube.
constraint is concerned. And one quick thing as we count down now, we are getting into the final minutes before liftoff. There's a 2-hour window. We haven't quite set the T0 yet, but this is a list of the cutouts. There are 150 cutouts that are included for
Today's
this
window's
2-hour
only
launch
two
window.
hours. I
And
don't
that's
know what
important
they
that
have
they're in very small
scheduled for
print.
or what they
That's
have in the
important
schedule for the
because
rest of the week.
there's basically
you know, for-
16 minutes
case
inside
there's
this
a delay.
window that they cannot
They started
launch. And
refueling
these
this
are
thing early,
because of
and they filled it pretty
small
fast.
things
I don't
flying
know
in
why.
orbit. There's a lot more things in orbit
This
than there
shit, this
were,
rocket's a little bit different.
back in Artemis 1 when we
they
had
load it really early,
35 to 40 cutouts.
even before the
So,
astronauts get in it.
For that reason,
Maybe for
because these
astronaut safety, I don't
156
know.
Cutouts,
But
they're
they're
gonna be
using hydrogen, and
managing the launch
hydrogen will leak
window,
out of anything.
as we go
So
forward.
they're continuously having
they
to
may
top
have
off.
to wait out one of
'cause
these
it boils
cutouts.
off.
They range in time between 2 seconds
I'm
to
just
23
used to like
seconds.
a Starship
But you'll
launch where
hear
they
the NASA test director
they load
talk through
they're
that.
loading it up
We're
until the
getting
very
ready
last
to
minute.
merge
Just
that
about.
loop from NASA test director Jeff Spaulding.
And I don't know why NASA has that camera sideways.
And so now I'm listening to the launch team get ready to merge their operational channel.
I guess to make it look like they're laying down or something, or laying back, which they are. Hopefully they can get the price of this
Now
rocket
entering
down.
One of the most
So far, it's
consequential
been a
phases
decent
of
rocket.
launch day, and that's terminal count, the final 10 minutes.
So far,
And OTC,
I mean,
NTD on 212
it's
for
been a
time
good
check.
rocket, but it's an
Good,
expensive
Tom.
rocket.
How me?
I hear the
Starship
same,
can still do
STC.
it a whole lot cheaper, but Starship's not ready yet either.
TTC.
SpaceX is falling behind on that.
All right, copy that.
Waiting to find out when Starship's planning their launch. They
NASA
supposed
test
to be,
director Jeff
here in
Spaulding
April.
confirming communications with his team.
See, Free, this wasn't an April Fool's joke.
There will be 2 polls that we'll hear. One from Spaulding, the NASA test director, confirming the ground systems and the launch team are ready to proceed. At this point, we have a clear board, no constraints, but we need confirmation from each individual on the NASA test director team. So we'll hear him poll his team. The other poll that we're waiting for is the poll from launch director Charlie Blackwell Thompson, who will take that final status from
Getting
NASA
a little bit of a
management
purple hue on
before
my
giving the go
on
to
my
come out of
face.
a hold. And you're seeing
I don't
the
have any
clock
purple
count
lights in
down
front of me.
at
I
L
think it's just
12
the
minutes.
monitors.
CCL, OTC, Orion, or S1.
CCL.
Yes, sir. Reconfigure ARS primary loop ISO valves.
Copy, that's in work.
And CDR, OTC, Orion, or S1.
Go.
ARS loop ISO valves are being closed at this time.
Integrity copies.
Go no go poll going on now.
NGDLP.
Go. Yes, I had a discussion with Sea Ice and with MER Manager regarding the observation the Sea Ice had a few minutes ago. They were able to confirm with BCI photos that the condition that they observed has been there since 2025. MER Manager has had a chance to review the findings, and they do not have any constraints from either a Sea Ice or MER Manager.
I've seen NASA is starting to use more cameras than they used to.
Copy.
Probably because of Jared.
Yes, sir. I copy. That's good news.
If NASA wants more hype for themselves, they needed to do something like that.
OTC.
ARS primary loop isolation valve configuration is complete.
Copy.
And CGLS NTD, cancel pending, please.
CLS copies, and that's complete.
All right, and for all personnel, we got a little bit more work to do before we pick up the clock, and we're about a little over a minute from getting to T-minus 10 minutes, but we've canceled the resume time there, and then we'll pick it up after we get through all of our work and anything else that we need to do to get through the remainder of count. So we'll continue working that to get to our T0 today. So when we get to about 50 seconds from now, we'll extend that hold.
CVSE OTC. CVSE 400-290, looking to verify that we are configured for ascent.
Yep, give me about 2 more minutes. I'm going to start CMA2 streaming.
Copy.
NTD COSE hold requested.
Copy that.
I have an LCC violation of O-CT-004. S-band transponder anomaly. This was a transient LCC violation, so transponder 1 had a demodulated SNR estimate that went down to 2 dBm when it should have been between 10 and 13. It is now back up to 12, but we did lose that for just a moment. It does not appear that we lost our bit sync or carrier lock, which would be indicative that we lost our lock with the vehicle. So at this point, recommendation would still be go. However, we do have a pre-planned contingency procedure if we want to look at that. But again, this is transient, so we're back in a nominal range.
All right, let's see, LPE NTD.
Yeah, we're not seeing that hit. So I guess the question for COSE, was that less than 3 samples? Was that below our persistence?
Stand by, let me look. It did look like it did persist for several seconds on mine, but let me take a look at the number of samples.
Could I get a repeat on the affected LCC, please?
Yes, ma'am. That's going to be O-CT-004.
Thank you.
Yeah, us taking a look at the data right here, looks like that was a single sample.
Yeah, copy that. RFTS does report that they also lost lock for about 5 seconds. So
I don't have my chat bot on
see if they also
during
lost
these
lock with the
streams
vehicle
just
for
because it
any
interrupts
extended
them
amount of
talking,
period.
like I'm doing now.
And COSE, while we're doing that, these are 1/10 hertz measurements, correct? So we would have had to lose it for over 10 seconds to get a second sample?
Yes, sir, that's correct. It is 1/10 hertz.
Yeah, so from our perspective, the allowance is effectively up to 30 seconds, up to 3 samples based on the 1/10 hertz. This is not an LCC violation, I believe.
Yes, sir. I would agree with that at this point. Copy that.
We're checking with KUS on 232. I don't think they have 212 access.
Yeah, you weren't around for the last couple of weeks. Well, last month or so, me being on steroids. Friggin', I was raging every day over something.
Have a loss of lock as well.
I hate steroids. I know they were needed at the time, but
I
they
guess
screw me all up.
KUS and COSE, do we have lock now?
That's affirmed. We do have lock for COSE.
They screw up my sleep, my eating, and it puts my blood sugar through the roof.
Perspective, we did have a temporary loss there within the allowable, and per the requirement, let's go.
And this is Houston Flight. We have lock and we have good telemetry here in GSE.
And KUS is reported to they have good luck now. So with all of that, OSC, then are we in a go configuration per your LCC?
Yes, sir. Recommendation would be go.
Right. LP, you concur with that?
Yes, sir. LP concurs go.
And Launch Director?
Yes, sir. Launch Director concurs go.
All right, and I'm going to go ahead and just verify everybody has everything else complete, Launch Director, and if we do, we'll be ready to pick up the poll at that time, unless there's something else that you're aware of.
No, sir. Let's verify all our work is complete, and I would like one last check of our constraints list.
All right, let's see. OTC, are you still waiting for ComConfig, or are you complete?
That is affirmed, sir.
Okay, is that your only open item?
Yeah, OTC, this is CVSC. That 400 step 290 is complete.
Copy.
Okay, so OTC, you're complete with all of your work?
That's affirmed.
All right, copy that. STC?
STC is complete.
And GTC?
GTC is complete.
Okay, excellent. All right, and LPE, just want to verify we have no open constraints at this time.
No open constraints. We have a clear board, sir.
Okay, tracking the same here. And Launch Director, with that, we are clear and ready to pick up the launch readiness poll with your go.
All right, sir. I am go for the poll.
All right.
I'm guessing
and
y'all
for
can
all
hear,
personnel, this is the NTD conducting the Artemis II launch readiness check. Verify ready to resume count and go for launch. OTC.
OTC is go.
STC.
STC is go.
GTC.
C's go.
MCO.
Yeah, Raven, I've never seen a launch
Safety console.
I would love to go down to Texas
LPE.
and watch one of the Starship
LPE's
launches.
go. RTD.
RTD's go.
Maybe
Houston
one day.
Flight.
Houston Flight is go.
ROC.
ROC is go.
And CDR.
Crew is go.
Copy that. Thank you, Reed. And Launch Director, NTD, our launch team is ready to proceed at this time.
All right, NTD, I copy all. At this time, I'll perform my poll. Attention on the net. This is the Launch Director performing the final poll for launch. Verify no constraints and go for launch. EGS, Program Chief Engineer.
Artemis Chief Engineers are go.
Copy, thank you. EGS, Chief Safety Officer.
The Artemis CSOs are go.
Copy, thank you. Range Weather.
Launch weather is go.
Thank you, LWO. And Artemis MMT Chair.
MMT's go.
Thank you, John. And Integrity Launch Director.
Good air your voice, Charlie. PLT.
Thank you, Charlie. This is Victor. We are going for our families.
MS1.
This is Christina. We are going for our teammates.
MS2. This is Jeremy. We are going for all humanity. All right, Charlie, your Artemis II crew is go for launch. Full send.
I copy that. Reed, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy. On this historic mission, you take with you the heart of this Artemis team, the daring spirit of the American people and our partners across the globe, and the hopes and dreams of a new generation. Good luck. Godspeed, Artemis II. Let's go.
Be the first time we've had
an NTD launch director.
Anyone's been in orbit around the moon in over 50 years.
Yes, sir. You have a go to proceed with countdown.
Copy that. I'll put it in work. CDR, NTD.
Go.
Figure risers and initiate short purge per your EPROC 10.1.1, steps 8 and 9.
10.1.1, 8 and 9 going to work.
Copy. CVSC NTD, start and verify recordings of our Orion cameras.
Copy. Okay. Well, there you heard it.
I'm glad you're in here, Raven. Yeah, this is a little bit earlier than I normally
stream. Getting ready to start terminal count.
Arm rotation enable at this time, please.
For my crew,
it's currently at T minus 10 minutes.
Haven't streamed in 3 months, so.
Once we wrap up
did stream the State of the Union address.
Arm rotation enable complete.
But,
we're going to start that clock.
Copy that. Thank you.
I didn't talk much because I was still hacking up both lungs back then. Start the clock or not?
You heard an issue, worked in real time with telemetry lock on the Orion. It was transitory. It was very short. They checked the data, confirmed that they had a good lock. This was with the S-band transmitter on the Orion. Worked through that issue, looked at the data, and cleared it.
Probably just a cheap router.
All with the world watching. Impressive work by the launch team. So we have a 2-hour window, which starts in just a few minutes at 6:24 p.m. Eastern Time and goes until 8:24 p.m. Eastern Time.
And ECL NTD will be waiting for your verification on the short purge.
ECL copies.
And for all personnel, once we get that short purge verification, we'll verify that we are clear to go, and then we'll proceed with the terminal count. ECL time estimate?
About a minute.
Copy.
So we're going into the launch window, but not by much, it looks like. Just wrapping up some final work. And once that's completed, you'll hear NASA Test Director Jeff Spaulding ask for the ground launch sequencer operator to go ahead and start the clock. The ground launch sequencer is an application software. It runs on top of the launch control system in the firing room, acts like a conductor of an orchestra, executing hundreds of commands in precise order and timing. It's all autonomous.
NTD CCL 212, short purge initiation is verified.
All right, copy that, and we're verifying our constraints. All right, and we're clear from cutouts. And with that, we're going to resume the clock momentarily. And CGLS, you can resume the clock on your mark.
GLS copies. 3, 2, 1, mark. GLS mainline has been initiated.
T-minus 10 minutes and counting.
And that begins terminal count. Our new T0 is 6:35 p.m. Eastern Time. 6:35 p.m. Eastern Time. We are now counting down to liftoff of Artemis II. From now on, you're going to hear two voices on the loops. If everything goes nominally, NASA Test Director Jeff Spaulding, who's directly managing the launch team, and Alex Bendelos, the GLS operator who closely monitors the software. He has the ability to stop and restart the countdown.
Looks like if it is scrubbed for today,
a lot of people ask about whether there's a launch button. There certainly
launch windows cut out for the 3rd, 4th,
Our new
5th,
T0 is 22,
and the 6th of April.
35, 12.
Houston flight copies.
Well, it looks like it's going to take off today.
Affirm.
There you heard confirmation of the exact T0, 6:35 and 12 seconds p.m. Eastern Time. Again, our T0 is 6:35 and 12 seconds p.m. Eastern Time.
Welcome
in. I was
in.
just saying, there's no launch button. This is autonomous. But there is a button that keeps you from launching, and that button allows the GLS operator to pause the countdown outside of terminal count and during terminal count and submit a hold to the next holding point. So the clock won't stop right away. If there's an issue, we'll go to the next stable holding point. This is how GLS configures the rocket and ground systems to a stable point where they can stop the countdown if that's needed. But right now, we are counting down. Our next big milestone, looking to retract the crew access arm.
There you go. I was about to say, I don't know why they don't just overlay the
GLS
clock on all the
crew
cameras.
access arm retract.
Maybe they're having trouble with their
And
OBS.
there you see the crew access arm moving away. That's the path that the astronauts took to ingress into the rocket. Until this point, that was their way off the pad if they needed to evacuate. But now with that arm retracting, the backup transitions to a launch abort system. And they'll begin arming that shortly. Of course, the launch abort system. If you're watching over on YouTube, great shot there.
Please give me a like.
Access arm.
If you really like what you see, please sub to the channel.
The launch abort system is the tower at the top, and that's what would pull Orion and its crew off the top of the rocket in case of an emergency, whether it's on the ground or in flight. This is critical safety hardware that protects the lives of the astronauts.
And here in April, I believe there are going to be a bunch of rocket launches.
Starting at T-minus 6 minutes, the GLS will start bringing that and other high-energy systems online, starting with core stage pressurization.
Somebody's scratching their mic. That's not me.
Weather is 90% go. The range is go. All systems are go.
GLS is go for core stage tank pressurization.
That means the replenish valve for the liquid hydrogen tank has now closed, and that tank is beginning to pressurize to flight levels because that hydrogen is naturally boiling inside the tank.
Hydrogen
we'll get the liquid
constantly
oxygen
boils
tank
off,
later
and it'll find every little. I guess the atoms are so small, it can get out.
Now the team is waiting for verification that, if needed, the Artemis II crew could use the launch abort system to pull Orion safely off the top of the rocket in an emergency. Let's listen in for that call.
GLS verifies last capability available.
And CDR, do you copy?
CDR copies, last available.
That's great news, and you heard the NTD verify that with the commander of the mission.
GLS is go for FTS arm.
Now work is being done to arm the flight termination system. This is so the range safety can send a flight termination command if the rocket flies too far off track. There's a brief built-in delay, so the launch abort system has time to pull the astronauts to safety first.
GLS is go for LH2 high flow bleed check.
All right, the high flow bleed check. That's so the cryo team gets verification that the RS-25 engines, all 4 of them, are in the proper temperature range for launch.
GLS is go for core stage APU start.
Core stage APUs start. Those are auxiliary power units, high-speed turbines which provide pressure to hydraulic pumps that steer the RS-25 engines. We're going to see a gimbal test a little later at T-minus 2 minutes and 30 seconds. This is what allows that to happen. Coming up in about 20 seconds, we're listening for go for purge sequence 4. That's a helium purge of the 4 core stage engines downstream of the propellant valve. This gets all the air and moisture out of there.
GLS is go for purge sequence 4.
Moving through the milestones. All is looking good. Coming up in just a few seconds, we're going to get that thrust vector control actuator test. This is a gimbaling of the engines. There are the 4 RS-25s, 3 of them Shuttle Heritage, 1 of them built from shuttle parts. And there you see them moving.
Those engines were built for the space shuttle.
Now we're going to start moving the power.
I don't know how many they've still got in
the
reserve.
lower stage of the rocket to internal, taking ground power away and now going to battery power.
GLS is go for upper stage to internal power.
All right, power is removed from the rocket's upper stage, the ICPS, and it's been switched to battery. Same milestone for the lower core stage coming up at T-minus 1 minute and 30 seconds. Right now, the 4-person Artemis II crew is 248,000 miles away from the moon. And if all goes well, they will fly by it in 6 days.
GLS is go for core stage to internal power.
All right, there's the rocket's core stage, which houses 3 flight computers, is now on its own power. There's no more hold time because there's no more margin on these batteries. So we would have to recycle back to T-minus 10 to recharge if we had a hold.
One minute.
Right now, the rocket does not know what the T0 is, but coming up at T-minus 33 seconds, control shifts from the ground launch sequencer to the rocket's onboard autonomous launch sequencer, or ALS. The rocket will count itself down, but honor any holds that could come from the ground. Now, shortly after liftoff, Houston will take control of the rocket, and my colleague Gary Jordan will take over commentary.
GLS is go for ALS.
Great call out. The rocket is on its own. 4 brave explorers ready to ride the most powerful rocket NASA has ever launched. Sound suppression water is flowing.
15.
And here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7. RS-25 engines lit. 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And liftoff. The crew of Artemis II now bound for the moon. Humanity's next great voyage begins.
Go. Good roll pitch.
Roger, roll pitch.
Houston now controlling the flight of Integrity on the Artemis II mission around the moon.
Got me up on the TV, good deal.
Integrity, AMT high.
AMT high.
On time passing 30 seconds into the flights. Integrity passes the alternate beacon. Target milestone. Mission Control Houston seeing good performance on the 4 main engines. Space Launch System.
Hey, Kev, welcome in.
Integrity, 3 miles in altitude. Traveling more than 1,200 miles per hour.
I am a Starship fan, but I want to see everybody freaking do well. NASA, all the other commercial companies. It drives innovation, drives competition.
Mission elapsed time, passing 1 minute, approaching max Q.
On, pumps fully on.
Don't think this launch isn't kicking Elon Musk in the butt right now to get his stuff
Have you the same?
squared away.
Communication signal transfer confirmed as Integrity and its crew go supersonic. Approaching 90 seconds into the Artemis II mission. Integrity is 14 miles in altitude, 8 miles downrange, traveling more than 2,600 miles per hour. minute 50 seconds of mission elapsed time. Standing by for main engine throttle down to 85%, ahead of solid rocket booster separation, expected at the 2 minute 9 second mark. We see throttle down. Confirmed separation. Main engine's throttling up, guidance converged.
Why'd they switch the cameras?
Integrity, guidance converged, performance nominal, upper stage RCS ready.
Copy all, Stan.
See, the cameras wouldn't freeze like that if they used Starlink.
Integrity, SM priming complete.
SM priming complete.
2 minutes 45 seconds of mission elapsed time into the Artemis II mission. Thrusters on Integrity and upper stage confirmed in a ready state, ahead of service module fairing separation. 3 minutes into the flight. Integrity 49 miles in altitude, 78 miles downrange, now passing 5,000 miles per hour.
5,000 miles an hour.
Standing by for launch abort system jettison.
Houston Integrity, good last jettison, great view.
Copy jettison, Team Eco 8+02.
We see the same on board, Stan.
And Houston has you loud and clear on TDRS at the Kármán line.
Outstanding, Stan, we have you the same.
3 minutes 50 seconds into the flight of Artemis II, Wiseman, Glover, Cook, and Hansen cross the boundary to space with good comm checks. GPS signals acquired after last jettison now working on internal checks to verify accuracy. Flight Dynamics Officer analyzed the time of main engine cutoff, confirmed at 8 minutes 2 seconds, time of MECO.
Integrity, GPS processing.
Outstanding, Stan. We see the same, and we have a beautiful moonrise. We're headed right at it.
Approaching 5 minutes into the flight, Commander Reed Wiseman confirms he has visuals of his destination. GPS guidance, navigation, and control software finishes internal checks and sends to navigation channels.
Got to be pretty, because we're pretty much at a full moon right now.
Integrity, 3 engine press.
3 engine press.
On time, now passing 5 minutes 20 seconds of mission elapsed time into the Artemis II mission. At this point, 3 good main engines
folks.
are
I'm
all
a
that's
nerd. I
needed
love
to
this
carry
stuff.
Integrity to a nominal main engine cutoff target. Though at this time, we're seeing 4 good engines here in Mission Control Houston. Integrity, 75 miles in altitude, 330 miles downrange, approaching 10,000 miles per hour.
Integrity, looking good at 6 minutes.
Same on board, Stan.
Good trajectory and engine performance. Booster officer will soon report the shutdown plan to Flight Director Judd Friedling, expected at the 7-minute mark. Integrity, 78 miles in altitude, 460 miles downrange.
Integrity, expect nominal shutdown.
11,000 miles an hour. Shutdown. Almost 12.
Six minutes 40 seconds of mission elapsed time. Shutdown plan is as expected. Again, the time of MECO was confirmed at 8 minutes 2 seconds into the flight. 7 minutes of mission elapsed time. Throttling down as we approach the abort once around option. Milestone at the 7-minute 30-second mark. Now 84 miles in altitude, 650 miles downrange, traveling more than 15,000 miles per hour.
Integrity, AOA open.
AOA open.
The window is now open for an abort once around option that would target splashdown in the Pacific Ocean. Still following nominal ascent at this time. About 10 seconds remaining until the main engine cutoff of the Space Launch System core stage. Standing by for confirmation of MECO and core stage separation.
Integrity and nominal MECO, core stage separated.
We see the same on board, Stan.
Animation's a little behind.
8 minutes 40 seconds into the flight, we have a nominal main engine cutoff heading in the right trajectory on the way to swing around the moon. Core stage has separated, done its job. The Space Launch System upper stage, the Inner Rim Cryogenic Propulsion Stage, or ICPS, still attached to the Orion spacecraft.
Hey, Phoenix, welcome in.
9 minutes of mission elapsed time. Integrity crew of Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Cook, and Jeremy Hansen
hey, Kev's
now in
mom.
orbit around the Earth at the beginning of their journey to the moon.
Nana.
Integrity Houston, looking ahead to PRM numbers so far per the pad.
Copy that, Stan. Numbers for the pad.
Capcom Stan Loves now reminding the crew that the perigee raise maneuver time of ignition is as expected prior to booster ignition. That time being 49 minutes, 50 seconds of mission elapsed time.
Like they're having a little bit of stream difficulties. If you're watching on YouTube, you can really see the pixelation. A little bit there on Twitch.
Integrity, good. NEDS deploy.
Copy that, Stan. Good, Neds.
And Integrity Houston for PWD setup. Just a reminder, halfway open on the secondary.
We copy that, Stan. Halfway open.
Passing 11 minutes of mission elapsed time. Here, overhearing the conversation between Capcom Stan Love and Commander Reed Wiseman, already passing some milestones. We have a good nozzle extension deployment system. That is confirmed. Complete. We also have the visors are confirmed up now past the dynamic phase of flight, that is ascent.
I'm not seeing that on OBS at all.
Their launch and entry suits that provided them an extra layer of protection. Now not as needed. They're going to raise those visors.
Except for that cloud-looking stuff. I don't know, they wouldn't have that on a simulation.
And later in today's mission, they will begin to egress or get out of the suits to begin some of their initial tasks of activating some of the systems aboard in the Integrity spacecraft. It's passing 12 minutes of mission elapsed time. Again, the perigee raise maneuver that's targeted near 50 minutes of mission elapsed time, 49 minutes, 50 seconds. That's what the crew is going to be working towards. The Commander Reed Wiseman, pilot Victor Glover will focus on preparing for that milestone. In the meantime, mission specialist Christina Cook and Jeremy Hansen will start some of the activation of environmental control life support systems. You may hear confirmation of their activation over the Orion to Earth communication network.
Houston, C3 aux power back in auto.
Copy C3 aux, and we're 2 minutes to maneuver.
"13 minutes and 30 seconds of mission elapsed time. We're going to continue to follow the crew of the Artemis II mission. They are beginning their journey around the moon to verify the systems that will take us to its surface. An incredible ascent. Artemis II is underway. Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Cook, and Jeremy Hansen begin their journey to the moon. Still milestones to come up as we await solar array deploy and the critical burns that will get Integrity into high Earth orbit around the Earth before engines are fired to get us around the moon.
This is still just another test
We'll keep
mission. They're
tabs
just going to
on
fly around the
Integrity
moon
and its
once
crew
and come
from
back.
here in Mission Control Houston. But for now, we're going to send it back to
Verifying
you,
all the
Megan
systems
and
for
Nicole at the
manned
Kennedy
spaceflight.
Space Center. Very jealous to hear how the launch experience was over on the Space Coast.
Yeah, Gary, if people are just joining us, welcome back to the Space Coast, where we just saw Artemis II lift off 14 minutes ago. And wow, what an amazing launch, and an emotional one, too. As soon as the rocket lifted off, Nicole, you had tears in your eyes, I had tears in my eyes, and we had all these people around us cheering. It was amazing.
Yeah, the energy was wonderful. I mean, it was a beautiful launch. You know, we've got 4 friends and family members headed to the moon. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, how does that make you feel as someone who, you know, is an astronaut as well, but also, as you said, friends?
Yeah, so proud of them. You know, man, we don't have the words in the English language to describe this kind of an event, and pride, love, so many emotions. You know, they are truly breaking some barriers, and hopefully, you know, as Gary just said, they've got a long day ahead of them, so wishing them well on everything, but so far, what a beautiful launch to watch.
Yeah, to be returning to the lunar orbit in more than 50 years. Maybe they go farther from Earth than any other humans before them. Maybe they see parts of the moon that we've never seen before. I mean, what a great start to what could be all of these milestones that we break in just a 10-day mission.
Yes, what a way to welcome in the Artemis generation.
Yeah, how do you feel? I mean, we saw some beautiful shots we were covering of course, the rocket, of course, the Earth falling away as we continued up into our ascents, but also some of those crowd shots where we saw young and old just emotional, overcome by this history-making moment.
Man, we are going back to the moon for all, and we saw that today. We saw that in all the crowds. And yeah, you guys just saw that view, the sunrise or sunset, I guess. They just made it over the crest of the Earth, and you could see the sun peeking over. One of my favorite views from space, and I can't imagine what they're looking at now, and I can't wait to see what they're looking at in about 5 or 6 days.
Yeah, and you know, I know a lot of people are like, you know what, I'm surprised this launched on the first try, because we know, like any little thing, we have to be keeping safety in mind, and we want to make sure we're ready to go, but we were ready to go, and I think it surprised a lot of people. What a wonderful surprise on this Wednesday evening.
It did, you know, and it kind of surprised me as well, but you know, it's just a testament to the team here that has been working so hard on Artemis. You know, Artemis 1, we learned a ton of lessons. We learned a ton from the wet dress for Artemis 2. We were able to go in, fix those things. We even had a couple mishaps today, not mishaps, but a couple couple, anomalies today that the team creatively came up with solutions for. It's just a testament to the teamwork that gets us to the moon.
And so we can continue to watch Christina, Reed, Victor, and Jeremy on their way now to the moon in Earth's orbit and awaiting the next in-flight milestones, deploying Orion's solar arrays. So why don't we get back in with Mission Control and Gary.
Hey, thank you, Megan. Again, we're following along in the action. It is a long day. They have a number of procedures they need to get to immediately in their timeline.
And Integrity Houston, cross-tie is on board per the ETSI-DEM.
We copy Houston. Thank you.
Oh. NASA's cameras aren't working too bad for
cross-tie, referring to
NASA. SpaceX has had a little more
flight controllers here
a little more practice at it.
Connection between some of the batteries aboard the Orion spacecraft, allowing for an even distribution of power. This is the flight control teams that took us through ascent of the Artemis II mission today. Right now we're, as you see, passing 18 minutes of mission elapsed time.
All right, well,
the Orion
we got
spacecraft integrity and the interim cryogenic propulsion system are maneuvering tail to sun. It is in this orientation, this attitude.
Integrity any words on that momentary prop caution.
All right.
And Reed, no action. We're
if
looking
you're watching on Twitch, ! Enter. To win one of my Get Off My Lawn t-shirts.
Commander Reed Wiseman verifying what is being
10 people in here right now
routed to his displays aboard Integrity.
Sorry, I can't do it for YouTube. Fourth Wall doesn't have YouTube integration
at this time. They're pressing through with their
a lot of people don't have YouTube integration for stuff.
Perigee raise maneuver.
I've been trying to find a giveaway tool that'll work over on YouTube, and
ahead of that,
all the ones I've tried don't work.
The solar wing deploy is a critical milestone. We'll continue to
Kim
have
got
our
in there,
coverage,
Free got in there.
Follow the mission until that deployment. A successful launch is just the beginning. The deployment of the solar arrays and successful confirmation that those solar array wings are drawing power is a significant milestone, and says to the flight control teams that we will continue on today's mission. Power needs to be drawn to continue through some of the next milestones. Until then, the AOA open option that was
I've just been trying to find just a giveaway tool
is the current option, and the board to orbit
where they could
option,
like DM
ATO,
me their address and all
will be switched to a preferred mode.
Then I can ship something out to them. But
solar array wings are deployed and latched. It gives the
and honestly, in the last couple months, I haven't been
flexibility.
Integrity Houston, update on TDRS handover for your pad.
Kim got it. There you go, Kim.
Just 1 minute.
Click that link there to redeem. Go verify your Twitch.
And Stan, you can read it.
You haven't already.
Copy.
Roger. TDRS handover east to west expected 1 second earlier at 5:1 minutes 26 seconds.
I don't know what that cloud thing is. I guess that's supposed to represent the clouds around the Earth.
All right, Stan, we copy 1 second earlier for 5126 TDRS east to west, and saws are starting to deploy.
They're definitely still having
firing.
Streaming issues, especially on the
We
YouTube
concur.
side.
Thanks for the report.
Read back of the reports that you just heard on the Orion to Earth network. Integrity has maneuvered tail to sun. The RL-10 nozzle on the end of the ICPS is pointed towards the sun, and the solar array deployment sequence has begun. With the deployment confirmed, it'll be several minutes until they are what is called in a latched position. Once they are latched and confirmed to be drawing power, they can switch the mode to ATO and continue along the mission. The teacher's handover at the pad, that message meant the crew was provided...
Their animation really isn't keeping up with everything.
The crew was provided some preliminary numbers of when to expect handovers between the tracking and data relay satellites. currently orbiting Earth at an altitude of 545 statute miles above the Earth. They are in a near-Earth network communication system. The tracking and data relay satellites, geosynchronous satellites that are stationed about 23,000 miles above the Earth.
I hear you, freak.
After the apogee rays burn, that occurs later
How far
today,
along are you now, Kim?
the burn itself will put them in an altitude that
I'm wearing my long
surpasses,
sleeves.
the
Get off
range
my long
of
shirt.
the tracking and data relay satellites, and they will transition to the deep space network today.
And Integrity, for prop messages, we see 2 temperature measurements.
It's been warm and
right
muggy
near the
here,
line.
but inside I've had the
it's that momentary message you saw earlier. We're going to suppress
air conditioner
those
runner trying to
with
keep the
CM
humidity down.
Helium heater 2 T1
And it's right
heater
behind me,
1
about freezes me
T1.
out.
They're going suppressed.
Integrity, thank you. We see the same.
Hopefully by later this summer, I'll have another camper in here. Nicer one, bigger one. Still don't know where I'm going to set up my setup yet. I need to go up there to the RV place and actually walk around in it. Maybe take a tape measure with me.
This is Mission Control Houston, passing 23 minutes of mission elapsed time into the Artemis II mission. This is after a launch that began at 5:35 and 12 seconds Central Time, 6:35 and 12 seconds p.m. Eastern Time.
Haven't decided on what camper I want to get yet.
Right now, the orientation you're seeing from our aero visualization that
probably
going to
have to get a two-bedroom one in order to be able to set up
into a model, so you can follow along on some of the milestones that we are following here.
But the problem is
the RL-10 nozzle that you see at the left end of your
the actual
screen.
bedrooms. The bed's up on a pedestal, kind of like mine is now too.
Towards the sun,
underneath is a storage area you can get to from underneath the
deploying.
mattress or from a little
From this visualization, they look fully stowed
outside.
in a position.
Integrity, we are happy to report that Jeremy has the O2 sensors on.
And without tearing that out.
Copy O2 sensors.
Don't know how I'm going to set this up because I've got a pretty big setup. Luckily, I have a very big pop
Again, Commander Reed Wiseman and pilot Victor Glover overseeing the deployment
wide.
of the solar arrays.
And I'm only using...
And we'll follow the attitude maneuver changes ahead of the first burn of the ICPS engine, the perigee raise maneuver.
Integrity Houston, we see 4 saws deployed and latched, ready for ATO preferred.
Yeah, we're almost there in the procedure stand, and we see the same thing.
And Integrity Houston, we are seeing a 7-second miscompare between the MET on Orion and ICPS. We'd like you to read us the MET from your center status bar and for the ICPS on StackSum.
Almost 22 weeks. Good deal.
And Stan, we see a
You're halfway through it.
Absolutely precise alignment. MET 25, 14, 15, 16, precisely aligned with ICPS MET.
Copy. Thank you for that. We'll investigate a ground issue.
And Houston Integrity, ATO preferred set.
Copy. ATO preferred.
I don't know what's up with the YouTube stream. Their YouTube stream looks like crap. Usually it's the other way around for me. Usually my YouTube
25
looks
minutes, 45 seconds
perfect.
Into the flight of Artemis II.
Twitch that I have troubles
We have confirmation that all 4 solar array wings are deployed and latched. This is the configuration needed to switch to ATO preferred, which you did hear confirmed from pilot Victor Glover.
And they're also streaming on Twitch too.
There's also a discussion with Capcom Stan Love and Commander Reed Wiseman about the alignment of the MET clocks on the Orion spacecraft.
They're streaming at 4K on Twitch,
the ICPS.
which I didn't know was
Reed
possible.
Wiseman confirmed the clocks are in sync, no issues. They're going to investigate it on the ground. We're proceeding with today's mission. 26 minutes of mission elapsed time and counting.
I follow NASA. Why is NASA not showing up in my... See, even their Twitch stream looks better. And yeah, they're streaming at 4K. That must be something new Twitch has been doing. Watch to earn drops. What kind of drops do they have for NASA? Let back up.
This is Mission Control Houston. We're approaching 28 minutes of mission elapsed time into the Artemis II mission.
Why does that look so messed up?
At this point, we've had a successful liftoff from the pad at 5:35 p.m. and 12 seconds p.m. Central Time, 6:35 and 12 seconds p.m. Eastern Time.
All right, never mind. Y'all aren't seeing that. That's on my end.
And a good trajectory to begin today's mission. Right now, the spacecraft has maneuvered
probably an HDR
tail
issue.
to sun. We're standing by for another maneuver to maneuver into the burn attitude. This is where the RL-10 engine of the ICPS is pointed in the correct orientation for the perigee raise maneuver. We did hear confirmation that the perigee raise maneuver time of ignition has been confirmed per the pad, which means it was the predicted time prior to liftoff.
Integrity for GNC, we're taking channel 1 to unfiltered and to BFS.
Okay, Stan, we're watching. Go ahead.
Even when I turn HDR off on my monitor, it's still doing it. I don't know what that is. Y'all watching over on YouTube, are y'all seeing the green streaks and stuff like that?
Reading up to the crew of Integrity. They will switch the navigation source from channel 1, standing by for confirmation that that switch has occurred. Pilot Victor Glover will receive confirmation when, and as at least watching to confirm that that switch has occurred. Again, the perigee raise maneuver that we're heading towards, not too long from now, we're actually inside 20 minutes at this time from the time of ignition of the perigee raise maneuver. We did have a successful deployment and launched of all 4 solar array wings. This is the configuration needed to commit to the perigee raise maneuver. Of course, flight controllers here in Mission Control Houston will continue to evaluate that everything is good before committing to that burn. The perigee raise maneuver does raise the perigee, the lowest point in the orbit, from 15 to
green
100
bars and
nautical
pixelation
miles.
on my
The 100
YouTube
nautical
feed
mile mark
of my stream
is needed to continue in low Earth orbit and hit the target for the apogee raise burn. That will put them in a high Earth orbit.
But I'm not seeing
for
it
the
over. I
remainder
mean,
of
I'm
the
seeing a
day
little bit.
and set
just
them up
that
for the right.
I'm seeing their issues.
Position to execute the translunar injection.
Twitch looks
and head to
exactly
the
like
moon tomorrow.
OBS.
The burn duration of the perigee raise maneuver is 26 seconds. A relatively short burn, but it does raise the perigee and do the job to get into the correct position.
Maybe it's my
firing
monitor
that,
settings.
Main engine on the ICPS. The pad had a TDRS handover. This is the tracking and data relay satellites. East to west, they are geosynchronous satellites that are positioned around the globe. And as Orion makes its way around the Earth right now, above the west coast of Africa, at an altitude of about 923
it's got to be my monitor.
statute miles, and counting.
Let me pull up my YouTube stream over on regular monitor.
The perigee raise maneuver is not executed at the perigee. It is rather executed on the, actually closer to the apogee. But what it does is it raises the perigee on the other end of the orbit to 100 nautical miles. The 26-second duration burn does not conflict with the time that they've reported of the tracking and data relay satellite handover from TGS east to west. Again, geosynchronous satellites that are used not only by Integrity today, but the International Space Station as well.
That looks the same.
That time of handover is 51 minutes, 26 seconds. Plenty of margin before the perigee raise maneuver cutoff happens, and the trajectory is analyzed to see whether it was a good burn. A good burn means that the burn was performed as expected and sets the trajectory on course for that 100 nautical mile perigee target mark. Again, for those sticking with us on NASA Plus and following along on our coverage, we will continue to follow and to cover the mission until, well, actually, we'll continue to cover the mission 24/7. But we'll wrap up our coverage here shortly.
All right, that's going to be it for a while.
Solar array wing deployment has occurred on NASA Plus and Amazon Prime.
Go ahead and turn that down.
Again, we will continue coverage 24/7 at the NASA YouTube channel. For those that want to see all of the upcoming milestones, there are select times.
Tornado watches, they're always fun.
Coming back to NASA Plus and other streaming platforms. You can go to nasa.gov to find the latest on when to find those activities.
The largest size? I didn't even look. What is the largest size I have for that? Like a 5X?
Maintaining transparency in the mission and providing you all the information.
I know, I wear a 3X.
On what's happening in space.
And it looks like I'm having twins.
Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Cook.
All right, anyway, my streaming schedule.
On their mission,
probably for a little while, I'm not going to be streaming any games. 5X, okay. I don't know. Since I've been sick, I just haven't felt like streaming games. I don't know. The game I'm playing right now, World of Sea Battle, it's kind of boring. It's kind of a grindy game. I mean, I might stream it once or twice, but I really don't think people are going to like it. And what I was thinking about doing, since I cannot dual stream on my server, the Deer stream, I can't stream it to Twitch too. I just don't have the power for it. I've got it. A bigger GPU to put in there, but the power supply can't handle it, and I haven't ordered a bigger power supply yet. So I only have a 500 watt power supply in there, and I don't know if it'll run that. And I plan on upgrading the CPU and that to the old CPU out of this one, which is the 3900X. I don't know if it can run a 3900X and a 79XT off of 500 watt. It might, but I like to have a lot of overhead on this machine here. I've got a 1000 watt power supply.
We are ready to copy.
Hi.
TIG is 2 seconds early.
My GPU is only pulling a total of 120 watts right now. Of course, I'm not gaming. And 111 on the CPU.
49, 48.
But it's a power-hungry CPU. But I don't know. So I was toying around with the idea. You love it too. Welcome in, welcome out. Yeah, I was thinking about using my Twitch channel here and just starting to stream when I'm not doing something else like this or gaming, streaming the Deer channel over here. But that means I'll have to do it all from my main computer.
Time updated to be 2 seconds earlier was 49 minutes 50 seconds of mission elapsed time.
No, that's not a good idea.
Now move to 49 minutes 48 seconds. The duration of the burn, that's what was referred to.
Yeah, I don't know. I could still, I could still game on this machine.
26 seconds, relatively short duration burn. Again,
with
perigee of the orbit.
Deer stream going on in the background. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. It was just an idea I had.
Sure they hit the mark on that time of ignition.
Sometime in the next couple of weeks, I should be getting some bees.
Commander Reed Wiseman and pilot Victor
My first 2 Nooks.
Mission specialist Christina Jeremy Hansen inside activating those environmental control and life support systems.
Like I said, I was going to get out today and paint the hives. We'll paint one and varnish the other one.
At this time, all 4 crew members are wearing the.
I'm going to do one natural and one white. We'll see how they hold up. Although I've seen a lot of beekeepers lately that aren't even painting their hives. So I don't know. Down here in the humidity, it needs to be coated with something, or they'll probably just fall apart. Yeah, I'm going to put up one of my older cameras. I'm going to put it on the bird feeders. And then I got a 4K camera coming in Friday for the beehives. I got to figure out where I'm going to mount it and all that out there. And then run 100 foot of Cat 7 cable out there. So I'll be playing around with that hopefully this weekend. I don't know. I don't know what the rain's fixing to do. Wasn't even supposed to rain here today, but it did.
Again,
see here.
Point of that maneuver is to point the main engine of the ICPS, the RL-10 engine, in the proper orientation to execute that 26-second burn. It needs to point in the correct position to achieve the goal of raising the perigee to 100.
Looks like tomorrow and Friday are going to be sunny. Saturday and Sunday, thunderstorms and rain.
You heard some of the environmental control system.
Definitely don't want to be out there in the rain. I don't need to slip again and friggin'
O2 sensors.
Break another ankle.
They'll be measuring the cabin of Orion.
That wasn't fun.
With during all of the activations here on the ground in Mission Control Houston to flight director.
Yeah, the weather is here too, Kim. I mean, we'll have a high of like 40 degrees one day, and then a high of 80 degrees 2 days later. It's weird. It's keeping my sinuses messed up. Sinuses are kind of messed up right now because the barometric pressure is dropping. I know we've got a rain front coming in here in the next couple of days, and it's already dropping. Today's rain wasn't even supposed to happen. But after this next rain, though, I need to get out there and cut grass. It's starting to look a little shabby.
Hey, we copy. MCCs go. Maneuver starting.
Minutes of mission elapsed time. The maneuver to the burn attitude has begun. The maneuver also is.
You want a shirt, Kevin 4X? You're not that big, are you?
They will have various positions throughout the duration of the flight. Of course, solar array is meant to maximize
Let's see if
the draw of power
if my bot's working right.
The sun. So when deployed, we're in a biased solar array wing configuration that was called solar.
Oh, it's working over on. There we go. It's just slow coming up on YouTube.
This allows for the greatest.
There's the link to my merch store. Y'all want to go over and take a look?
To be drawing power and powering up those batteries of integrity, of which.
And there's also a link in the over on YouTube. There's a link in the description for my secret lab.
Inside of Orion.
Link. However, you can go check out their chairs and desks and all kinds of accessories.
Solar array wings will be put into a position to take on the loads imparted by the ICPS main engine.
That link there on YouTube is
execute the 26-second burn.
Secret Lab.
You can see in the animation here.
The
solar array wings are in motion, and the attitude is being reconfigured to point the engine in the correct direction.
Oh, you already know the gender? So what do you have? Let me guess, a little boy. Oh, a girl. Congrats.
You're getting a live look inside the Artemis II mission flight control room. The team you
But
see
anyway,
here
I guess that's going to be it for this stream. They're not going to be doing much other than just doing some maneuvering and stuff like that.
Eastern time. Now again,
they will be separating the capsule and then flipping it around and then reconnecting it.
Flight controllers shifting on 3 shifts.
Don't know when they're going to be doing that.
Oversee 24/7 operations of Artemis II while in flight. We will cover that live on NASA the NASA YouTube channel, and we'll be covering that around the clock as we begin to wrap up our coverage here on NASA Plus. Before I do want to send it over to our colleagues.
Yeah, I don't even have a thanks for watching screen to throw up.
It was a pleasure to join the teams at the Kennedy Space Center.
Anyway, let's go over here and look on.
Here in Houston, again, we're turning our attention to the mission. And for now, we'll say farewell.
My Twitch
and thank
dashboard.
You to our colleagues there for today's launch coverage. We'll see you again soon for Splashdown. This is Mission Control Houston, sending it back over to Megan and Nicole.
Oh, NASA's not going to be doing anything else until Splashdown. Okay.
Yes, it was such a pleasure to be a part of this historic mission that started right here at Kennedy Space Center.
Find somebody to rate out to.
Such an amazing site.
I don't know if anybody's on. That's the wrong button.
As Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Cook, and Jeremy Hansen begin their journey.
I'm not big enough yet to rate out over on YouTube.
Our broadcasts. We'll, of course, though, have 24/7 coverage with our colleagues at Johnson Space Center starting as soon as we sign off, so don't worry. You can follow along our 4 astronauts every minute of their nearly 10-day journey to the moon and back. Nicole, I'll definitely be watching it, and I'm sure you will, too.
Yes,
oh, dang. Is there anybody on?
Right? The launch was beautiful. This was a historic day there on.
Oh, here we go. Rocker Joe is on. He's playing Clone Hero.
But they've got a lot of work ahead of them, and so we're excited to see what they have to do and excited to test out the Orion spacecraft. This is a test flight after all, and we're excited to see what we can learn from this mission.
Very humbling, inspiring. It was really amazing to be a part of this. And I'm so glad that so many people joined along by either watching here in person or watching online. And of course, Nicole, thank you so much for sitting through this, answering questions, adding so much context. And
alrighty. Again, thanks everybody for showing up. This is my first stream in a while, and had some really good numbers over here on YouTube, and on Twitch. I appreciate everybody coming out. 49 views total so far over on YouTube. Wow. Not all at once.
Of human exploration. Our Artemis II crew now on their way back to the moon, and we're taking you with us. So thank you again for watching, and go Artemis II.
I appreciate everybody hanging out and showing up. Congrats again to Kim on the t-shirt. We'll be doing some more giveaways too. Especially once I get the B camera stuff up, I might start giving away some of that merch. Need to go through and look.
The card game. The astronauts who have just left crew suit up and are now walking down a hallway.
Already confirmed that.
Here they are.
Anyway. All right. Anyway, thanks everybody for showing up, and we will see y'all next time.
This must feel so special to the crew.